Welcome to an all new episode of Tackling a New Kingdom. I am your host, Tank Johnson, and today we got a special episode. Why is it special? Because it's fight week. That's right. Gervonta Tank Davis, 28-0 versus Ryan Garcia, 23-0. So you know what that means. Our Tackling a New Kingdom boxing expert, Ceasar, Chico Montemayor. Caesar, my 20-year brother, how you doing, my bro?
It's fight week, baby. I'm excited, man. I'm happy to be here. I went for a run this morning. I got to get in the mode. So I'm excited, man. It's you talk about a fight. We got one this week, baby.
We got one. If anyone doesn't know, boxing is the glue that connects me and Caesar, and he is our resident boxing expert. Well, normally in a fight like this, I will be taking the black fighter and Caesar will be taking the Mexican fighter. But today, in tackling something current, Chico is switching over and he's taking Gervonta Davis. So, in tackling something current, I want to know what makes you feel like Gervonta Davis has that much of an edge over King Ryan.
Um, well, it's a number of things. I think overall, it comes down to the simplicity.
Yes.
Gervonta has just basically, man, Gervonta has just fought way more world class fighters in the last few years than Ryan has. The experience is going to take him a lot further than Ryan is. Just the opposition is just has been bar none. You name it, he's fought him. They lined him up. He knocked them all down, and not only did he knock them all down, he did it all in extremely great fashion. So I think overall, just his level of opposition, his experience, and it just him. And actually, totality of as a fighter is just what's going to separate him in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Gervonta Davis, and to your point, he's fought all types of different style fighters. Southpaw, he's fought guys that are bigger than him, in height and mass. But Garcia is a little different in that he's got equal punching power in both hands. Has Tank Davis ever fought a person with equal balance of power in both hands?
Never. That's why this fight is so intriguing. Ryan has, I mean, they both have speed and power, but Ryan definitely has the ability to not only box, but has the ability to knock him out. And I know a lot of people will, every fight, there's a storyline, right? Every fight that you put up against Gervonta, they're going to say that this fighter can do this fighter can do that.
Right.
Rolly Romero, they said he had the power to knock him out, and look what ended up happening. So obviously anything can happen in the ring. But Ryan definitely has the speed and the power to put Gervonta down. And will that happen? That's yet to be seen, But Gervonta has never been in the ring with somebody like Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've watched Total Access, I've watched a little bit of YouTube. Gervonta keeps making reference to taking Ryan into the deep waters where he's never been. And I mean, for a fan, that gets me excited because I know what he means. Tell the fans, what does Gervonta Davis mean about taking King Ryan into the deep water?
Well, it's a chess match. It's not checkers. Some boxing fights, it's checkers. It's basic, depending on your opponent. This isn't that. When you get at the top tier of boxing, you're splitting hairs. Any and everything comes into play, and I think the general, boxing fan doesn't understand that. Fighters like this, everything matters, and that one simple mistake, that footwork, that counter, all these things matter when you're in the ring. So when Tank Davis tells you he's gonna take the late rounds, he's gonna drown you. That's what I mean. This isn't the first few rounds of this fight. You might even expect boos because they both respect each other. They respect that speed. They respect that power. They respect the ability of each other. and that's what is going to separate, all those things. But I think that, yeah, absolutely, he's gonna slowly download all of what Ryan's doing and what he's not doing, and he's gonna pick his shots. And that's very smart of him because Ryan has the ability to counter and put him down.
Man, well, I mean, in tackling something current, our boxing expert Cesar Chavez is Cesar Chavez Montemayor. He thinks he's gonna just take him to the deep waters and drown him, and I believe that, in fact, is how it's gonna happen. So now, in tackling something real, I want to know: is Gervonta Davis the face of boxing? And if so, why? And if not, why not?
uh, you know, I there's a lot of good fighters out there, man. There's a lot of good fighters, but
Yes.
in my opinion, when you say the face of boxing, you're talking mainstream, and I will say yes, he is the face of boxing currently right now because of one thing: he can bring the stars out, baby. That's what it comes down to.
Okay.
You put him. It don't matter who he's fighting. You put him on the headline, and they're coming out. It don't matter where it's at. It don't matter who it's against. And that's why I think he's the face of boxing is because how he fights. He's energetic, and his style of fighting is amazing. It's
Right.
electric, and they're coming out. Everyone's coming out. You name them, they're gonna be there.
We will definitely be in the building. Uh but I want to know this, like, we've seen Floyd's era, we've seen Pacquiao's era, and we watched Floyd go from uh Pretty Boy Floyd to Money May. And that was when he was the face of boxing for that time. I mean, I don't even know what it really means to be the face of boxing anymore, but I'll say this: his ferocious type of, and we're talking Tank Davis, his ferocious power in both hands, knocking guys out, is that a sustainable way to go through your career? Or is he going to have to make adjustments later on and start fighting different if he wants to be the face for a long time?
And I'll give you a two-part answer to that.
Please.
You can't blame Javante Tank Davis getting that flash like Money May did. You know what I'm saying? Like in his heyday. That's what he's come. That's what he comes from. He comes from that's his stable. That's who put him under his wing. So you can't blame him for having that flair like Floyd did. That's what he
Right.
saw. Right. Just like a father and son. That's all you see. That's what you're going to become.
That's a good
And
point. That's a good point.
rightfully so when it comes to that. Now, sustainability, of course, he's going to have to, in the same way he took that from Floyd, he's going to have to take the latter part of Floyd's career and apply that to his career because Father Time is undefeated, baby. You have to, just like in any sport, LeBron James doesn't do the same things he did the first 5 years of his career to the last five. You make adjustments, just
Right.
like Mike did when he came back with number 45. He wasn't Air Jordan, he was still Jordan, but he applied his skill set in a different way. And I think that boxing is a different sport because you get knocked out. It ain't basketball. So
Mhm.
you have to be
Right.
even smarter in the way you approach it. And he's definitely. I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to become more of a boxer to give him longevity in the sport. So yeah,
Yeah.
that definitely has to be something that's going to be adapted.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's such a great point. How you kind of mentioned all the greats and how they all had to tweak their game in order to take that next level. And so that just, that's just such a good point. And I don't know if Tank is the face of boxing per se right now because there's so many guys in the running for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many guys in the running, and I think boxing right now is enjoying a good a good amount of parity. There's good boxers everywhere. Where when you look at the landscape of boxing, is boxing in a good place right now with Tank at the forefront?
I think it is. I think it's getting better. The biggest and the biggest challenge in boxing is um, something that has been there for a while. Guys don't want to fight guys. Nobody wants to lose their O. The O has to go. And at our younger days, None of that mattered, man. None of that mattered. They wanted to get in there and fight the best. And I know everybody says that. Everybody, all the fighters say they want to be the best in the world. That's so cliche, but do you really? And that's why you have to give Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. There's no losers in this fight. You know,
Right, right.
hopefully the fans reward these guys and give them credit where credit's due. You know, because
For taking on the fight.
absolutely,
Well, I
absolutely.
don't mean to interrupt you because I remember how much we wanted Floyd to fight Pacquiao in his prime, and they didn't.
And how uneventful was that fight? Unclimactic was
Oh,
that? It happened, but did it happen? You know, it's like an asterisk at the end of that fight. They fought, but imagine if they would have fought 7, 8 years before that, when Pacquiao was at his prime and when Floyd was at his prime. And
yeah.
and this fight, both guys are undefeated. Both guys aren't afraid to lose it, to lose their own. You know what? They're both putting it all on the line. Do I think that Ryan's at his prime? I don't, but I think that Gervonta is. I think Gervonta is at his prime right now. I think
Wow.
Ryan has a little bit more to go. He needs to be a little more seasoned. I wouldn't have taken this fight at this time, at this point in his career. I would have probably took another stepping stone fight that would challenge a little bit more. But hey, man, you got to give him credit. You got to give him credit because he did something that most people are not willing to do at that stage in his career.
Well, I want to talk about the mental edge going into this fight right now. Now, me and you, we talk every single day. I thought when Tank scheduled his fight and knocked that guy out, and Ryan canceled his fight, I thought that gives Tank the overwhelming mental edge. What do you think?
Um, it's chess, and it ain't just in the ring. You know what I? You
Ooh,
know, it's definitely mental. You know, Gervonta didn't put the rehydration clause in there for no reason. He's playing with him a little bit. You know what I mean?
right.
So, you know, everything's chess. Everything matters, and I can't reiterate that again, man. When you're at this high of a level, like everything matters. So some people might say it's a handicap. Some might not. That he put that clause in there. I tell you what, Gervonta, this is the first time a boxer's done this. You know, so I guess we'll have to see and find out. Ryan
Okay.
doesn't seem like he's too phased. Ryan seems like it ain't nothing that he can't do, and if he didn't feel comfortable with it, then I don't think he would have took the fight. So
Right.
do I think Gervonta pushed the envelope? He definitely did.
He
He
definitely
definitely pushed
did.
the envelope for sure. And you know that's something Ryan was willing to accept. And hey, they made the fight happen. You got to give him credit.
Well, as it pertains to that, listen, the question is Tank, the face of boxing. I think boxing's in a good place. I think this is going to be a tremendous fight, but I believe if Tank keeps this up, he'll be well on his way to being the face of boxing.
I
Um,
agree.
and in tackling something controversial, I want to know, in your expert opinion, because I value your opinion, Ryan Garcia, does he deserve the praise that he's been getting as quote unquote King Ryan? And does he have what it takes to carry the flag as the next great Mexican fighter?
Well, I don't like the label king. You know, to carry that crown, man, you have to be LeBronish, king. You know, LeBronish. You know,
Big target on your back.
big, big. Those are big shoes to fill, man, and you can't set yourself up for failure. You have to really prove yourself to carry to give yourself a label like that. But nonetheless, you know, in boxing, you know, everybody should feel like that. In all sports, everybody should feel like that. But I'm just saying that's those are big shoes to fill, you know. So as far as boxing, do I think that I don't think Ryan deserves the credit that he's gotten.
Why?
You know,
Why? Is it because his whole brand has been built on social media, or
absolutely,
go ahead? Why?
absolutely. I don't want to cut you off, and you know what? I also don't mean to be long winded, but I'm going to explain this to you. If we are talking about um, boxing and solely boxing, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's a simple answer. But unfortunately, in today's age, the Jake Pauls of the world have changed everything. It ain't just about that. Can you bring the stars out? It's money. It's money. So from that perspective, yeah, he does deserve it. Yeah, he does. So it just depends on how you're looking at it, man. If you're talking about boxing and credentials and black and white, your resume, not at all. Not at all. But if we're talking about everything else and everything that boxing encompasses, that's a different conversation.
Got you. My thing, does he? To me, it does. Like, I feel like it comes off disingenuous when you talk about God so much in your press conferences. We're all believers. We're all believer in a higher power. But in my experience with guys who put, lead with that so much, a lot of time them motherfuckers is creeps, bro.
Yeah, especially when it's a fine line with religion and sports and the public. When people push the envelope with that or push religion on you, so to speak, it's perspective,
It,
bro.
it,
It's
it, feel, it,
perspective.
feel, it feels like he's trying to deflect something because I think there's always, you can question him, but I feel like if his response is, God is giving me all the powers in the world, it's just like, what can you really say after that? You're just like, okay.
Yeah, it's like answering without answering, right?
It is, and it bothers me, man. But I want you to get specific on this one. Is he cut from the same cloth as the Mexican fighters that we know and love growing up?
No. It's just that
Ooh.
simple. I mean, but having said that, how many Julio Cesar Chavez have ever stepped in the ring before? How many Durans have been in there? Like, times have changed, and that's one thing. Just like again, a reference to sports. Different eras. The Bill Russell era. The LeBron era, the Jordan era. These are all the way the game has changed. It's just it's boxing has changed in the same way that basketball has and all the other sports.
Well,
So I don't
yeah.
think he is. I just don't think he's simply. It's just as simple. I don't think he's been tested enough for us to give an accurate answer. He's been put down once. You can count the big name fighters that he's ever fought in his career. That's why I think he ain't at his prime yet. Is because he just hasn't been challenged to that point yet. And not to say that that won't happen. Not to say that it can happen. I'm just saying it hasn't happened yet.
I don't want to be the old head that says, oh, you're a social media king and all that. I don't, man. Listen, I'm learning in business now that this wave of social media is very valuable and lucrative. So I can't, I can't say take that away from him for having that and maximizing that platform. I'm just wondering if when the heat is too hot and all of a sudden you want to take a mental health break away from social media, that kind of leads me to question, are you really built like that?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, like everybody handles things differently, right? And what happens privately and publicly are two different things, and I get
Are,
that.
are you are
But
you making excuses for the Mexican fighter,
no,
Chico?
no, but what I'm going to tell you is this: that just shows you a little bit of his character. He did that outside the ring. What's going to happen inside when he gets touched? Some
Right.
things in life you can't change, man. Your character is who it is. Your integrity is what it is. You know what I mean? So, um, he did that outside the ring, and I'll tell you what: you try to take a mental break inside the ring, it's it. It's over.
It's
Just that
over.
fast.
Well, in tackling something controversial, we will see this weekend if Ryan Garcia truly knows what it's like to be a King Ryan. So, man, maybe we should just make your name Cesar Chavez Montemayor for boxing, man. So let's get you out of here with a rapid fire.
All right.
How now? And on the Jake Paul fight, you predicted I don't know if it was the eighth round, somebody's going down. You predicted it down to the round.
Down
Let's
to the round.
let's see how it goes for this fight. How do you see it ending?
I see it going to full 12 rounds. I see it going to uh, unanimous slash split decision. And the only reason I say that is because judging nowadays, man, it's hasn't been the greatest. So nonetheless, I see it going. You see how specific I'm being. Um, I think it's going to go full 12. I think Gervonta's going to win on points. I think he figures them out. Third, fourth round, he starts to figure out what he got going on, and I think he starts pressing the action. I don't think he knocks him out. I don't think nobody gets knocked out. I think it's going to be a boxing match, and it's going to go the full 12 rounds, and Gervonta wins.
Unanimous or split?
Um,
I need you to lean one way.
I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna say split only because I anticipate a competitive fight, man, and only because the judges nowadays, um, it may be very clear to me and you know, but they may see something in there that we don't see, and a lot of times, I mean, it's just how it goes, you know. So, but I do think it's going to full 12, and I feel and I do think that Gervonta wins. But I will say this: I don't think there's any losers in this fight. I think very rarely do you see fights like this happen, and very rarely, even when you lose, you win. And I think Ryan's gonna come out with the victory,
Yeah.
even if it's not on paper. So come
Okay.
Saturday night.
Now, this is a curveball question for you. If
Mm-hmm.
Ryan were to win, what would he have to do to tank?
Uh, I know he really wants to show the world that he could hurt Tank. I think he boxes and boxes and boxes and tries to counter and pick and choose his shots because I think that's the best way for him to have a chance. You know, Gervonta
Mhm.
Davis is going to cut off the ring once he figures them out. He's going to press the action, not completely aggressive, but I think he's slow. He does that over time throughout the rounds, and I think that Ryan needs to box. He needs to jab, and he needs to use that counter left hook, and as best as he can when he can, but he needs to be very careful.
Wow. And finally, who's the next who's the next great Mexican fighter coming up?
Oh, that's easy. Arizona's own, Phoenix's own, David Benavidez. That's the easy answer.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not sure. Some people might not consider him up and coming. He's already won the title. He lost it, not by not. He didn't lose it in the ring, but he lost it, and he got it back. And at some point, man, Canelo's gonna have to face the music. He's gonna have to get into the ring with him. He's gonna have to, man. I don't know what else there is. Maybe Charlo tries to get in the ring with David. I don't know, but I'll tell you this: the longer Canelo waits, the older he's gonna get, the less of a chance he's gonna have in that ring. You know, so I think it's his benefit to fight him sooner rather than later. You know, and it's definitely David.
Well, Cesar Chavez Montemayor Chico, you've came, you've saw, you've tackled a new kingdom. Thank you for being a guest on my show.
Thank you for having me, and I can't wait till Saturday night, baby. We gonna be in the building.
Let's go.